You also need to understand that I'm also a human being. I'm not living in Togo. I'm in this Nigeria. I'm as worried as you all are. I want a Nigeria where our voices count. I want a Nigeria where when we speak, they listen. Let me tell Olu, hard to reboot. Come now. Aha. You see, if I talk, this battle is more of a mental one than a physical one. It all started when Daddyfreeze cannot criticize a pastor who is older than him because he's an old man. But you want to put questions to power. And the people in power are older than you. How does it balance out? We've got to be able to ask questions from people who are older than us without fear. Do you know how hard it is in this Nigeria to criticize anybody who is 6 months older than you? Do you know how hard it is? You ask someone, let me tell you something, Nigeria. Someone is or was right simply because he's older than you.
Hello?
Yeah, Olu.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
More. Yeah. Yeah, so you
know, the whole thing has taken plenty dimensions, and what we're talking about right now is how do you question, because what we need to do is we need to be able to speak up to power. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I should not be afraid of you because you are older than me. I should not be afraid of you because you're a politician. I should be able to speak to you respectfully, but at the same time, I should be able to question you. I don't know if I'm making sense to you. So
yeah, if you're going to give me an opportunity to respond as to what I feel my take is on what's going on.
Yes.
You see, one thing that made me earn your respect was that you took an issue from its core all the way. Darling, you have to excuse me. I'm sorry, that's my daughter. Sorry about that. So one thing that made me earn one thing that made me appreciate you so much as a friend and a brother was that you took an issue from its core and you dissected it all the way to the top. One thing I feel you are being, maybe lack of a better word, slightly myopic about as concerns this issue is this. It is almost irrelevant why this protest has started. This protest has just opened a can of worms that has existed for over half a century.
Absolutely.
I for one person, I started because you see, we have a default setting as a people, as Nigerians. And I'm quoting, that's why if you look at my page, I always love to post what Seun Kuti says all the time. You see, there are three kinds of people in Nigeria. There are the political elites, there are the social elites, and there are the poor people. Now, you see, the social elites are few of us that have managed to survive, thrive, and somewhat overcome the challenges that the poor people are facing. So, the political elites, they use us as their paddy tools. That's why they have managed to get away with what they've gotten away with for over half a century. But you see, as fate would ironically now have it, all of a sudden, the system was corrupt to a point where a factor that now affected us, the so-called social elites, is now police brutality. How ironic is this? We are now all of a sudden the target of one of the failed infrastructure, one of the failed parastatals of this government, which is security, which is police. The police is not targeting poor people. They don't have any. In fact, the police are the poor people. So, all of a sudden, we became the target of a hungry, angry, armed, uniformed man that is making 108,000 naira a year to be put on the streets, to be watching a 20-something-year-old drive a Mercedes of 10 million naira. So all of a sudden, we, the social elites, are now affected. But because we are very few in number and very influential, we couldn't take it anymore. It took us, maybe it's fair to say, maybe half a decade to be like, hold, going, but, let me please let me finish, please yes. If you would employ me, please. It took us maybe less than half a decade for things to get to this point. And of course, us, the social elites, we catered to our first core interest, ENDSARS. So all of a sudden, the voiceless poor man now sees 90 to 95% of the social elites chanting a cry because we have a voice that they do not have. So initially, we started chanting ENDSARS because between me and you, hypocritically, that is the aspect of the so many failed. That is the aspect of the so many failed government parastatals that have affected us directly. Because we were always good. We had elevated above the poverty level. We could go anywhere in Europe. We could wear the wristwatches. We could ride the private jets. We were living our dreams in a failed system. And I'm sorry to say, we were humans, because the natural state of the human mind is first selfishness. We were selfish. So as long as we were fine, as long as 3 square meals was not something we were concerned about, as long as we never had to bother about having a shelter above our heads, ever, since we were born, we pretty much couldn't be bothered enough to protest about the political injustice that has been in existence for over half a century. But all of a sudden, now it has affected us, So we say ENDSARS. And the poor man that has been voiceless from generation to generation now sees an opportunity to be heard. But Freeze, you must always expect that your reaction towards any issue is going to be a complete parallax to the reaction of a man that is homeless, that is not guaranteed his next meal.
I agree with you. I agree with
you. So I feel narrowing down the legitimacy of the effectiveness or non-effectiveness of this protest to the unknowns of whether it's been hijacked by hoodlums, whether hired or organic, I feel is relevant. Because for the first time in the history of this nation, the people that were voiceless now have seen a vessel to be heard. And how are they expressing that voiceless tendency with the only thing they've known all their life? Violence. A man that is angry and that is hungry, violence to him is first nature. I don't have anything to lose. So, Dayo, for the first time in half a century, guess what we all now have in common? We have the same common enemy, the political elites. For the first time in half a century, the social elites and the poor man now have one common enemy, the political elites. And when I saw what happened today happen, this is the beginning of the end of this chapter, because they didn't just kill the poor people now. They have struck a blow on the social elites. So for the first time, the poor people now have the strongest ally they never had in half a century in the social elite. Because I have never, there is nothing that has ever compelled me to do a live on Instagram. There is nothing that has been important enough up until now. Because guess what? They shot at me today. They shot at the social elites today. They struck a blow today. The relationship between us and the political elite is over. We are divorced. You can't come to us to campaign for you anymore. You can't come to us to mobilize for you anymore. You can't come to us to endorse you anymore. And we owe the poor people of Nigeria, I would say, maybe an apology. A lot of Nigerians owe you an apology too, Freeze, because you opened our eyes to the truth that we have been blinded by for generations as concerns the hypocrisy that surrounds religion. We owe you an apology too, because you opened our eyes to that too as well. So my brother, I want you to please channel that same energy and look at the broad spectrum of what is exactly going on, and don't be confused or lost in the details or intricacies of the validity or non-validity of the distractions that different narratives are trying to paint about hoodlums or whatnot. Because according to Sheon, and I like to quote Sheon a lot, who are hoodlums? hoodlums are a product of a failed system.
Yep.
Do you know the price tag of a hoodlum? 500 to 1,000 naira. Do you know why that price tag exists? It exists because as a result of a half a century of failure of a government to its people. When a government fails its people, what do you think is going to be the product? The poor people outnumber the social elites, maybe 500 to 1. For every one social elite that has risen above poverty, there are 500 poor people that you have to cater to.
More than that.
I'm only talking about the ones that are immediate to you, friends, families, relatives that you have to cater to. So when those soldiers, they didn't go to Ikota, they didn't go to Ajegunle, they didn't go to Ojo, they didn't do it in Ibadan. They came to Lekki Phase 1, removed cameras, shut down the street lights, and opened fire on the social elites. I'm like, oh yes, this is like when the Japanese attacked the Pearl Harbor. They have awoken a sleeping giant. They have awoken the masses, pushing between 150 to 200 million deep of foot soldiers that for the first time, they don't mind to die. I got a call from 4 friends today, women. They've bought a ticket and they're coming to Nigeria on Friday. Do you know what that means? They are leaving the United States of America and coming to Nigeria. I said, what are you going to do? They said, we are going to go and die. I said, what does that mean? He said, because as these are, one of them is, she's a nurse, well off, lives in Houston, has set up, has 2 kids. He said, what about your kids? He said, I'm doing this for them so that when I die, I'll be a martyr. I'm like, what? Freeze, I've known you almost half of my life. I have never called you one time on Instagram Live. What could have inspired me to do so tonight? As you notice, my camera is even off because I'm not doing this to cloud chase. You know, I don't care about all that thing, all that. I mean, I don't want to show, you know, I don't care about all that shit. But my voice is trembling with rage because for the first time in my lifetime, I was shot at. They shot at us, the social elites, so-called, quote unquote, quote unquote. They opened fire on us. And for so doing that, they were ready to kill us. So if you are ready to kill us, then we have one thing. That so we and the poor, we share a common enemy then. And according to Sean Kuti, he say the hashtag is now, we don't do again now. It's over. It's done. It's over. I mean, let me tell you why I say it's over. Can you picture Sanwo-Olu arriving in GFK or walking on Oxford Circus? He's done. Do you know why? Because he's going to run into the social elites. His kids have social elites as friends. His wife, his immediate and extended family. He shot at them today. He was instrumental in being a part of the movement that opened fire on them today.
But he, according to reports, anyway, I don't know what to trust in reports. So let me allow you to talk. I don't know what to trust in reports.
Freeze. When the soldiers went to Kalakuta and threw Fela's mom, they said they were unknown soldiers. So it's so ludicrous that they would still try to paint that same narrative in 2020. There can be a report out that the army didn't have anything to do with it, even though we have video evidence. I mean, it's just not. It's a bit unrelated that this act wasn't premeditated. They came, removed the cameras, they shut down the lights of the toll gate. Who has the authority to do all of that if you are not in tandem with the state parastatal?
Now, let me ask you something, Olu, real quick,
Yes.
before the live starts to time me out.
Right.
What do you think the way forward is?
The way forward is it's time. It is time now. It is time to. We can no longer. The marriage has been dissolved between the political and social elites. Today was the break point. There's no going back.
Sorry to cut you here. The marriage was between the political and the social elite and the religious elite.
The religious elite are part of the social elites.
Now, is the religious elite going to, because the religious elite is going to be torn, are they going to go with the social elite who is going with the poor, or are they going to go with their friends who are the political elite?
They can't go with the political elite because that would be suicide. You know, the religious elites are hypocrites. Between me and you, I'm sorry, I'm not mixing words. And so they can't be seen or caught dead to align with the political elites. That's suicidal. That narrative is not going to fly with anyone. Haven't you seen how many churches open their doors for people to come sleeping and offering shelter and food? Haven't you seen how many hospitals were ready to treat people for free? That's the power of, because they struck a blow at us. They shot at us. We own the Reddington Hospital. We own Lagoon Hospital. The biggest patron in churches are bank managers. They are the social elites, and that when they open fire on us, so the political elites now have alienated themselves. For the first time now, all the money in the loot would not be enough to repair this damage. I can promise you that. Freeze. Think about it.
It's very difficult for me. Sorry, my battery is running out. You have spoken very, you have touched very raw nerves, and you must understand that it's very difficult for me. I have spoken against. You see, there's no politics without religion, especially in a place of poverty.
Right.
There's no formula. And I have, over the years, tried to speak up against religious manipulation that was both weaponized and politicized.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
And
like I said, I mean, when I was opening up with my conversation, I did not, because you see, whether people like it or not, this actual movement started from you, Freeze. A lot of people would want to, you are an unsung hero, because there was one thing you did for the first time in the history of the subconsciousness of minds in this part of the world. You made people start asking questions. You made people start to have a rethink. You see, once people start thinking, their awareness starts growing. When their awareness starts growing, they start becoming inquisitive. Once that inquisitiveness gets to a point, they feel the pressure of the present moment to now want to raise their voice. So you are pretty much responsible for leading us to this point of awareness in our lives. Whether people want to deny that or accept that, that is just true. That is just the pure fact. And now that we are here, this is the break point. This is the first, today was the last day of the first day of a new Nigeria. Trust me. I have never been more certain about anything in life than I am as I speak to you. Oh, yes.
Okay, Olu.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anytime, bro.
Here's one thing I was worried about as a Christian. I was worried about people losing their lives. I was worried about, but like I said, it's very tough on us. You see, I'm not emotional, but
Right.
sometimes even the least emotional people can get overwhelmed.
Right.
This is a very emotional. I can't sleep. My eyes are fired up. I can't sleep because I'm worried about the future of this country. I'm worried. No matter where or how we're going, it's not an easy journey. You understand? It's not an easy journey. Sorry, Olu, I'm a bit emotional, so just
I know.
pardon me.
I know.
I'm glad
I'm
glad you are not emotional, but I am, because this is not the Nigeria I dreamed of when in UI those days, when
yes.
when we're putting together what was that, FKD, and then
FKD, right.
You know, this was not what we saw. We saw a Nigeria steadily grow, or we thought it was steadily growing, not knowing that there was a cancer that was eating it up from within.
Yes, because and we were so short-sighted and myopic in the growth we thought we were seeing, because we were in a bubble. We were in the social elite bubble.
We thought it didn't concern us.
Thank you very much, sir. Because we were educated, we had the opportunity to Freeze. You've traveled the world. Yours truly. I mean, I've been at the forefront of being famous since maybe 1998. So even though I'm not wealthy, I have human resources. I have goodwill. Do you understand what I'm saying? I by virtue of my career, I could wine and dine with the elites of the society. So that made me belong. So I never really had immediate social ill problems. I never really had that. And quite unfortunately, that's why it never really did reflect in a lot of artistic materials that so many people put out. Except for a handful, the Sound Sultans of this world, the two-faced Dibias of this world, the African Chinas of this world. You know, I mean, it goes without mentioning the Kuti family and legacy. I mean, so when Sheon speaks, I listen as if it's my lecturer giving me notes.
You know,
because it's coming from
Kuti was schooled by the world's best father.
Thank you very much. Because exactly, nine true Papa Pikin. Nine Papa Pikin. And sometimes
we've all been myopic.
But not anymore.
We've all been myopic.
Today, they showed us that even us, they wouldn't hesitate to kill us. That's what they showed us today. Where they shot at us at Lekki. That's what they did. That's what they showed us today. So with that realization now, we are woke. And We
This is not the
outnumber them.
Nigeria. This is not the Nigeria I dreamed of raising my children in. You see, Olu,
Yes.
let me tell you something. Yeah, I have a European passport.
Lucky you.
I don't need a visa to the UK. I can live and work in the UK at least until this Euro, what is it called?
Brexit.
Brexit finally happens.
Right.
I don't need a visa for Canada. I was in Canada last year. I didn't need a visa to travel there. So I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those people who is forced to stay in Nigeria because they have no choice. I chose Nigeria.
Because you love
Nigeria. Do you understand? My younger sisters are both in the UK. One of them is in Nigeria, but the little ones, right, used to run around then when we're growing up.
Right.
They're both in the UK, settled, sorted. I didn't see myself leaving Nigeria and going to develop another man's country with the little brain, talent, whatever little thing that is in me. I didn't see myself in another man's country. And let me not lie to you, it's Daddyfreeze will not be able to become Daddyfreeze in the UK. He can be Daddyfreeze in Nigeria, but he can't be Daddyfreeze in the UK. There's a reason why I was planted here. And the only time I tried to run out of Nigeria was when I finished university and I didn't really know what to do. But the moment I couldn't at that point and I was stuck in the grind of Nigeria, I fought it. I stuck it through. I braced myself for it. And when I put myself into Nigeria, it's an investment. Do you understand?
Of course.
I put my money into it. I put my blood into it. I could have been working here and shipping my money abroad. Any little thing I make, ship it abroad, use it to buy property or whatever it is to buy abroad. No. As I'm speaking to you, I personally do not have any property abroad. Nothing. Everything I have is in this Nigeria. So, and I am 45 years next year. So, I started work when I was 19. So I've invested about 26 years of my productivity into this country.
Right.
So even down to my kids, I never thought of moving them out. But to be honest, a government, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I want to get confirmation to see who opened fire on us. Because that was us, like you rightly said. No matter how.
Well, I can't. I mean, asking who opened fire is like asking if you can go and. It's like asking if you can go and watch a movie at the National Theatre. Of course, we know that you can't. We know who opened fire. It was a deliberate. It was an orchestrated, organized assault on us. They removed the cameras. There were no lights. You can't pull that off if you are a rogue agent. The Lekki Lighto gate never goes off, ever. I've not been home in a while, but I can't remember a moment where you would drive through Lekki Toll Gate and there won't be light or power. But they shut down the lights. They removed the cameras for a reason. So, unfortunately, the state government cannot, there is no court on land or heaven that they can exonerate themselves. It is impossible. Because guess what? Whether they were innocent or guilty, which I think they are guilty, but just for the benefit of doubt, even if they want to tread along the lines of innocence, they are as guilty as the person that pulled the trigger. Do you know why? Because they are the political elites. And this shooting was motivated by the political elites. But it was a wrong move. Because what they've done is they've united for the first time in about half a century the social elites with the poor people. The social elites have the voice, the poor people have the numbers. But we now have one enemy in common now, the political elites. Because for the first time, like I said, in half a century, we have now gotten to a point where we can boldly say we no do again. Because you have shown us that when push comes to shove, you will cock that rifle and pull the trigger, not caring who the bullet is going to meet. Can you picture if it was, I mean, there were a lot of rumors flying around, DJ Switch, and Yola Badmos, you know, they were, I mean, you know, it could have been anyone that was hit. May God rest the soul of people that have lost their lives, because they are part of us and they will not be forgotten. And they will not, and they will not be, and they will not be forgotten. I've seen very graphic videos of people that are injured. There was a guy in the hospital, his intestines were out, and the nurse was telling him, do you know God? He said yes. He said, keep saying, God, I will not die. His intestines were open and out. If it was if it was another scenario, I would say, hey, yeah, sorry, but that's me right there. That's my brother right there. That's my blood brother right there. You know, that could be Jason. Jason was going to Lekki Toll Gate every day. That could be Jason right there. So I'm looking at that guy. I'm looking at that guy that is dead. Like, that's Jason. That's why I'm having this conversation with you, and I'm trembling with rage. Olu. I don't know what to do. I don't know how best I can be effective. Olu. I don't know what to. Yes, I'm listening. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't go on anymore. It's too much for me.
No problem, brother.
It's too much for me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I've never been overwhelmed by anything before in my entire life. But this is overwhelming. This is overwhelming. This is overwhelming. And let's just hope the religious elite stay with us and not. But you know, see me that wants to go. But you know, the political elite gives them a lot of tax cuts, gives them a lot of freebies, gives them a lot.
You see, you have to understand that.
I can't do this. Let me just go and lay down a bit and try to sleep.
No problem, brother.
Olu, God bless you. Thank you for your time.
No problem.
Thank you.
No problem, brother.
Thank you for everything. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome, brother.
Can we, those of us who still believe in prayer, can we pray for Nigeria? As we go to bed tonight, let's pray for what's left of Nigeria. Let's stand strong and let's believe in ourselves. Let's believe in this generation. If you know the names of those who fell, their statues have to be erected.
I agree with you.
Their statues have to be erected. Every one of the soldiers who fell.
I agree with you.
They have to have their statues in prominent places in Lagos. These might be
I agree with you.
They might be nobodies in the scheme of things, but they stood up. They stood up, and that's what's breaking my heart. And they were peaceful. If you had said any other place, I might have said, okay, Lekki did. It was like a party. It was a party even. They were just having fun and speaking up and saying, you know what, this is what we're going to. How did it? You know, our children deserve a better country than this.
And we're going to give it to them. You see, Freeze, I mean, let me just leave you with this last note, because I know you're a bit emotional, but, and it's a I'm moved that you are, but this is the time we need you to be strong, because
You know, the problem is I've been
big.
strong for 4 years.
Yes, I know, but you are pivotal for this new Nigeria. You are important for this new Nigeria. You are important because you said something that touched me. You don't have to live in Nigeria. You choose to live in Nigeria. Unlike us, that we are 100% Nigerian. You choose to, and we are grateful for you picking us over anywhere or anyone else. But this is the time we need you to be strong. This is the time we need you to be wise. This is the time we need your leadership. And I'm going to quote him again. I'm sorry I'm quoting him too much, but I'm going to quote him again. He said, we are all leaders. My voice, your voice is not more important than the man that doesn't have a roof over his head, than the man that is not guaranteed 3 square meals or 1 square meal. We are going to, for the first time, be all leaders. So when we elect a leader from leaders, you will know that you'll be held accountable. You will know that there's zero tolerance for taking us for granted. That Nigeria will even be a better Nigeria than the one we have now. So your kids are in a good place. My daughter, she's going to be 3 next month. She would have a choice to be like, you know what, I don't want to live in America. I want to go back home, because we are going to lay the foundations of a respectable Nigeria, of a civil Nigeria, of a better Nigeria, the ones our parents never gave us. The odds were stacked against us from the day we were born. We were wired to fail, but against all odds, we thrived. But we were blinded by the slim, let me say, I don't want to use the word luck, the slim grace that we had or we have over the next man. That's what we've been blinded by for over half a century. But we are woke now. We are woke now. Because you see, it is not good enough for us to guarantee this kind of Nigeria for our children. Because, Freeze, between me and you, our children can never suffer. Because all the mistakes that we made, they won't even make it. But we are not just doing this for them. We are doing this too for their neighbors. We don't want our children to also be one rich man to 5,000 poor people.
Poor people.
We want our children to look at their neighbor
rich among
and
the rich.
Thank you, and to love we want our children to be able to look at their neighbor, to be able to relate to their neighbor, to be able to see their neighbor as a fellow
you know this thing
kin.
you're talking about. You know this thing you're talking about. Who watches Netflix? Who watches Jane the Virgin on Netflix?
Jane the Virgin? No, I don't.
Who watches Jane the Virgin on Netflix? Now, what happened was the girl was a poor girl. She was accidentally inseminated by the sperm of one of the richest men in the town's son, and he's worth about $40 million. Now, guess what? The rich kid used to go to their house, and if you look at the, yes, when you go to the rich kid's hotel, you see his Audi R8 Spider, you see his you see the hotel. But you see, when you go to the poor people's home, they have a decent home, they have running water, they have light, they have meals. The rich man can go there. Of course, he will not have all the amenities he's used to in his hotel and all that, but he used to spend the night there, because they share a child together, so he has to go and spend time with his child. And sometimes when he goes to spend time with his child, he does so in the poor girl's home. So I look, if you flip it, can you really spend a night in a poor person's home in Nigeria? The gap between what we consider the rich and the poor is so wide that there are some rich people's dogs that live better than poor people in this Nigeria.
Oh, there you go.
When I raise my children, I don't spoil them. There's nothing my children ever get that they don't work for. Even if I can afford to give it to them, I force them to work for it. Because I want them to understand that this Nigeria that we have is not what Nigeria is supposed to be. You are not supposed to get an iPhone 11 because you are a rich man's daughter. You want an iPhone 11, you should work for it.
Right.
There are people who, if you go to private schools and you see the way the children are raised, they are raised to have value for nothing. They know the price of everything and the value of nothing. And that is another core problem we have in Nigeria. Because the rich don't know the value of what they have because they never worked for it. It was handed over to them. It was handed down to them on a platter. This is the year where we need to teach value, not price. Value. And the more you start teaching value, the more we will grow as a people. If you watch that telenovela, let me tell you something here. The guy could afford to give the... Do you know the girl discovered, the Jane girl discovered that her long-lost father is a successful movie star. And now she has a child for one of the richest men in the city's son. Do you know she doesn't collect money from any of them? She refuses to collect money from any of them. We need to build a Nigeria where people can refuse money. One of the reasons why we are where we are today is because we have a price tag.
It's poverty.
Yes. And you see, we're funding
It's
the poverty with religion. We're funding the poverty with our ideology. Listen, you don't deserve to have that iPhone. It's not a gift from God. You slept with a man to get it. Say it as it is. You don't deserve to drive that car. You duped somebody of some money to drive it. It's not a gift from God. God doesn't steal from people and come and give other people. There are people.
Wrong ideology.
I've worked in Cool FM. I know the salaries of broadcasters are meager, but I stuck at it, and I've been able to get properties in Nigeria. I've been able to get myself things I want. But you see people coming, they'll ask about the salary, look at the place like this, look at the place like this, and they are gone the next day. They have that drive to work, to build something. It's non-existent. We want the shortcut. Oh, I've suffered all my life. Okay, if I sleep with this man, and this man, I'll get this, and this. Oh yeah, let's sleep. So we need a brain purge first. We need to realign our priorities. We need to fix our mindset. The mindset we have now is not going to take us into this future Nigeria. It might win this battle, but at the end of the day, we will lose the war simply because of our mindset. So, thank you all, everyone, for coming out. Olu, thank you so much for joining us. Take care of yourselves, guys. It's really a tough one. It's really a tough one. It's really a tough one. Good night, guys. Olu, Oshe, let me gather myself.
Thank you so much, brother.
All right. Bless you.
God bless you, man.
Thank you.
God bless you, man. One.
Thank you very much, guys. Good night, guys. Let's end with a prayer for Nigeria. We have no other country. Heavenly Father, Almighty King, I come before you to thank you so much for this beautiful nation that we have. Bless our minds. I will never ask you to bless Nigeria, Father, because Nigeria is already blessed. We're blessed with mineral resources. We're blessed with land mass. We're blessed with human capital. We're endowed with creativity and entrepreneurship. So I don't need us. I don't need the nation to be blessed. It's already blessed. I need our minds to be blessed. I need our mindsets to be blessed with your wisdom. I ask for your mercy. I ask for your direction for this beautiful people. And I ask for healing. The blood shed upon this land is crying out, is weeping and moaning and groaning. Heal our land. Heal our people. This I ask in Yahushua's name. Amen. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I want to go, but I don't want to cut off the feed. I want to leave, but it's drawing me back. We need the Lord's wisdom. We need the Lord's wisdom. Sometimes I get a little too soft. Sometimes I get a little too hard. Forgive me, I'm a human being. In a situation like this, nobody knows what to do. We're all trying. But I know the Lord is going to release his wisdom upon us. I know the Spirit is not going to forsake us. I know we're not going to weep over our country. I know that we will wake up into the glory and the light and love of the Nigeria we deserve. I know God's going to do this. Good night. Good night, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for coming. God bless you all.